70% of new business apps are expected to be built using low-code or no-code platforms by next year, according to Gartner. And yet, if you ask most SaaS engineers, they will still raise an eyebrow. Founders see speed. Developers see shortcuts. Somewhere in between, startups either accelerate or quietly walk into a technical dead end. I have worked with teams that built MVPs in weeks thanks to these tools, and I have also worked with teams who had to throw it all out just to meet compliance or scale. So in this video, we are going beyond the hype. Where do these platforms actually help SaaS founders, and where do they become liabilities? If you work in SaaS, product or technical leadership, subscribe. I cover real strategies on SaaS architecture, AI systems and product frameworks you can actually use. Now, why this isn't just a trend? The global low-code market is projected to grow from $28.75 billion in 2024 to $265 billion by 2032. That's a staggering 32.2% CAGR according to Fortune Business Insights. Meanwhile, 87% of enterprise developers are now using low-code tools for at least some tasks according to OutSystems and Forresters. This isn't side project territory anymore. This is real SaaS territory. But it's not plug and play. For serious SaaS products, especially multi-tenant, regulated or scalable ones, low-code and no-code come with sharp edges. Let's walk through both sides. Number one, speed. Real gains, real risk. Low-code and low-code tools can reduce development time by up to 90% for certain use cases. That's not just vendor talk. Kishflow, Mentix, and OutSystems have all reported internal use cases where month-long builds have become week-long ones. Companies using AI-assisted platforms like Retool or Superblocks have cut initial development cycles by 40 to 50% thanks to built-in components and logic blocks. But here is the trade-off. The speed is front-loaded. As soon as you need custom workflow, tenant-based logic, or advanced state management, that speed curve flattens and sometimes reverses. One founder I worked with spent more time adding one custom billing flow into a low-code app than we would have spent building it natively. So yes, low-code moves fast, but only in a straight line. If your product path twists even slightly, expect resistance. Second, cost efficiency until you outgrow it. Most teams see low-code as a cost-saving tool, and for internal use, absolutely it is. But you do not need to have a full engineering squad to build an onboarding dashboard for HR. No-code can handle that. Platforms like AppGiver or Glide even offer generous free trials, and pricing is subscription-based, aligned with SaaS models. But when these tools are straight beyond their sweet spot, cost efficiency drops. Why? Because you still need engineers for workarounds and integrations. You hit pricing tiers based on user volume or API calls. You burn time navigating vendor-specific limitations. Now, according to 2023 Quickzy survey, 46% of businesses cited unexpected platform cost as their top challenge after initial deployment. So while the entry cost is low, the exit cost, technical and financial, can be steep. Number 3, citizen development works, but not for core product. 41% businesses now have active citizen development initiatives. That's fantastic for internal tooling. Marketing teams building their own dashboard. Operations automating workflows without waiting on IT. But when that mindset spills into product development, things get risky. I have reviewed no-code products built by non-engineers with zero monitoring, broken authentication, and sensitive data exposed in public Airtables. And once that's in production, retrofitting security and compliance is harder than building it right the first time. As Christina Koshypo from Vanta puts it, you do not get security for free. You get it from day one or you pay for it later. So give your non-technical teams the freedom to build internal tools, but do not build your customer-facing SaaS on wishful thinking. Point number 4, scaling issues aren't just theoretical. No-code platforms notoriously struggle with high traffic loads, multi-user concurrency, or complex relational data. Even low-code platforms like Mendix or OutSystems warn about performance limitations for apps with large concurrent datasets or frequent transactional writes. One report from Flixi.dev outlined how most no-code apps start degrading once they hit the 10,000 user mark, especially when used for customer-facing features. And in SaaS, scaling is not optional, it's expected. Whether it is tenant isolation, dynamic role permissions, or batched background jobs, most of this go beyond the visual builder's comfort zone. As McKinsey's 2023 DevTech Briefs put it, low-code is not a destination, it's a stage. Knowing when to graduate is critical. Next point, security, compliance, and performance lock-in. Now here is what makes founders wait post-launch. Is our data encrypted at rest? Are we SOC 2 ready? Can we even export this code base? No-code platforms rarely give you control over hosting, encryption protocols, or audit logs. And while low-code is better, you are still at the mercy of their update cycle. OutSystems, for instance, has improved its security tooling, but migrating off it is still requiring careful extraction, especially with proprietary visual logic. Gartner warned in their 2023 Magic Quadrant, vendor locking is the top concerns for CIOs adopting low-code platforms at enterprise scale. And they're right. If your platform decides to raise prices, deprecate features, or sunset APIs, you cannot just npm uninstall your way out of it. So always ask yourself, could we rebuild this elsewhere without a full rewrite? If not, you are not just using the platform, you are owned by it. So how I would use low-code or no-code in 2025? Here is my current approach with SaaS teams I advise. Number 1, use no-code for internal dashboards, MVPs for demo use only, workflow automation like Zapier or Make.com. And then low-code, you should use low-code for admin panels, CRUD-heavy internal tools, rapid interactions for non-core modules, and you should be used full code for core product logic, customer-facing features, and anything with scaling, security, or competitive IP. It's not about hype, it's about leverage. Use the right layer for the right job and always build in the ability to evolve. Let's see what hybrid architecture is. Here's a mistake I see often, treating low-code as an all-or-nothing strategy. In reality, the most successful SaaS teams I have worked with use low-code as the same way you would use a UI kit, not as the foundation, but as a way to accelerate what doesn't need reinvention. You build the business logic in a traditional stack, Node, Laravel, Django, whatever suits your core needs. Then you layer low-code tools on the top of admin panels, dashboard, or CRUD-heavy interfaces. One for our logistics SaaS clients does exactly this. They use APIs in Next.js, role-based access logic in PostgreSQL, and admin UI and analytics dashboards built with retool connected via secure API tokens. It's fast to iterate, secure by design, and scalable across tenants. Now think of it like this. If your backend is your engine, low-code is your dashboard. You still need full control over the mechanics, but you can absolutely skip hard coding the buttons and dials. And if you structure your APIs right, switching from low-code UI to full code front-end later becomes UI swap, not a system rebuild. This is the hybrid strategy I recommend to most early-stage SaaS teams. Use speed where it will not hurt you later. Use code where it matters the most. Now, what's quietly transforming all of this is AI. Low-code platforms used to just give you visual tools. Now they are giving you assistants. OutSystems' latest update includes AI-based logic generation, Microsoft Power Apps can build working forms and flows from a few lines of natural language. And tools like Superblocks are adding GPT copilots that write database queries for you. You are not just dragging and dropping anymore, you are describing intent and letting AI scaffold the workflow. And this matters more than it sounds. Because the bottleneck in SaaS isn't always code, it is cognition. It's the time spent figuring out where to start, what to build, what data is needed. AI removes friction in that discovery loop. You describe a feature, the platform builds that scaffolding, and your developers or your non-developers can shape it from there. This is especially valuable for internal tools, operational dashboards, and admin logic. The parts of the system that change often but do not need pixel-perfect design. Now, am I saying GPT-generated logic is production ready? No, not yet, but it is a force multiplier for teams who need speed without compromising structure. And once you combine AI acceleration with strong API-based backend logic, you are not just moving fast, you are moving fast in the right direction. But all this new power brings to a familiar problem: ownership. Low code without ownership becomes a liability. Here's a scenario I have seen more than in one SaaS organization. Marketing builds an onboarding dashboard using no code. Support builds a ticket management interface in Airtable. Sales hacks together a deal tracker with 15 zaps and a prayer. 6 months later, nobody knows who owns what. One person quits and the half of the tools break. That is not democratization. That is chaos with a nicer UI. As soon as you enable low code or no code tooling inside your organization, you need to answer one question: who owns the tools being built? This doesn't mean non-devs shouldn't be building. It means someone, usually a platform ops or an internal tools team, should own the platform configuration, governance, and life cycle of these tools. Think of it like internal DevOps. They maintain templates, enforce versioning, review security scopes, and ensure tools do not become unmaintainable islands. Because if no one owns it, no one maintains it. And in SaaS, unmaintainable tools are liabilities, especially when they touch customer data. A 2023 survey by Enlium showed that 43% of teams adopting low code faced governance challenges within the first 12 months. Not technical, organizational. So before you scale no code access across departments, decide who is steering the ship. Because no code without governance doesn't just slow you down. It erodes trust in the system you are trying to accelerate. So low code and no code are not shortcuts, they are scaffolding. They help you build faster, validate quicker, and collaborate better, especially early on. But as your SaaS grows, so do your architecture needs, compliance burdens, and customization demands. And at some point, drag and drop will not cut it. So if you are building a SaaS, start small, move fast, but build smart, because rebuilding later costs more than starting right. If this helped clarify things for your product or roadmap, please subscribe. I share weekly breakdowns on SaaS architecture, scaling strategies, and tools worth your time. Thank you so much for watching.